I tried to work all day yesterday and didn't take a single order. Sometimes on some of these videos you see people post these screenshots of these big payouts from gig apps. But yesterday I tried in the morning, I tried in the afternoon, and I took 0 orders. I did not take a single order. And I'm going to show you why I didn't take a single order and what I do on days like yesterday. This first order paid $7.50 for 12 miles. That breaks down to roughly 62 cents a mile. The second order paid $9.86 a mile, roughly 24 miles, and that breaks down to about 41 cents a mile. This third one was actually one I should have taken, but I didn't. It paid $22.64 for 10 miles, breaks down to roughly $2.05 a mile. I didn't take it because it had 10 drops and an apartment. Usually that doesn't slow me down, but I was waiting on something better. Sometimes you make bad decisions. I should have taken that order. At least that way it would have covered my cost yesterday for driving around. Why did I decline all those orders? There's no money in them, except for the third one that I should have taken, but a lot of people don't want to take something with 9 stops. It says 10 drops, but you know, one of those is your pickup at Walmart. And it can, excuse me, it can be different for different zones. But for example, that first order took me to nowhere. I live in rural West Virginia. That 12-mile trip turns into a 24-mile trip that cost me a quarter a mile. So it's 62 cents a mile. Divide that by 24 now. Well, now you're not making anything. The second one, 24 miles, also $9.86. There's no money there. My CRV, I have a 1997 Honda CRV, and it costs me roughly 25 cents a mile to operate. So if you're going to do gig apps, you have to figure out what your minimum standards will be. So that can vary depending on circumstances. Does it take you to another zone? Is it something that is taking me home or a direction I want to head in? In a case like that, a low-paying order might be acceptable. But for me, yesterday morning, those orders weren't acceptable because all they did was run me out, and I would have to deadhead back, run empty back. Those miles count too, because my CRV, just like your vehicle, it costs money to operate whether it's loaded or whether it's empty. And if you're wondering how do you come up with a minimum of what your vehicle costs, you know, I can only tell you what I did, and you can start with this if you would like. I went to ChatGPT and I explained to ChatGPT that I have a 1997 Honda CRV with 320,000 miles on it. I don't care about depreciation. It is depreciated as far as it's going. I do most of my own maintenance. What would it cost me to operate this vehicle per mile with the current gas prices? So you need to figure in the current gas prices in your area. And it came up to roughly 25 cents per mile. I don't have a car payment on it, obviously. So those things, that's something that you can start with if you want to figure out how much it costs to operate your vehicle. When you're working for yourself, slow days happen. And I don't understand why some people just constantly whine about how low these gig apps are. I get it. I'm running it. I'm trying to make a living on it. And yes, I know they pay low. But sitting in a parking lot, whining about how low paying the orders are and not doing anything about it is a mistake when you work for yourself. You have to think outside of the box on slow days because you still have bills to pay. It's important to protect your vehicle. For example, my CRV is on paper worthless, but it still makes money, so I have to protect it. Well, trying to force a bad order and losing money isn't protecting it for a day that it can make good money. So if a day that pays poorly, you're destroying your vehicle, when a good day comes around, you might be changing your oil, getting new tires, replacing worn out brakes, when you could be making money that day. You know, Saturday mornings are pretty busy. Well, if you're home Saturday morning changing your oil and putting brakes on, you may be doing things backwards. Maybe your better plan would be to do that Tuesday afternoon when there's nothing going on. What I do on slow days is sell on eBay. Well, I sell on eBay every day. But for example, yesterday, I came home. I don't have any items to list right now. I need to go source some stuff, which I'm going to do today. But I came home, deleted a lot of old listings that haven't sold, dead inventory, and I reposted them. It didn't make any money yesterday, but it does build money for the future. There's a big word for that. I don't remember how to pronounce it, but basically you're building money for the future. Spark is mostly, for me, cash flow. But sometimes the smartest way to make money is by refusing to lose more. If I would have sat out there and taken any of those orders, I would have lost money. I already lost enough money driving down to Walmart, and I'm not complaining about Spark, so if you're thinking that's the case, I'm not. Everything changes. But driving to town cost me money, and it cost me money to return home. But I didn't lose any more money by taking bad orders. And that's the point. You need to find a way to think outside of the box, multi-app, and focus on what can I do besides sitting in a parking lot whining into my phone about how I'm making no money. Working for yourself means there's going to be days that you make zero, and you're going to lose money some days. Yesterday I lost money, but that's just part of working for yourself. Slow days happen. You still have bills to pay. That's why an emergency fund matters. That's why multiple income streams matter. An emergency fund and multiple income streams is something that I too am working on. So I'm not talking down to anybody that doesn't have that. It's hard. I get it. I'm there. But where gig workers make the biggest mistake is by accepting every order. You can't accept every order. The mistake isn't making $0. You started the day at zero. The mistake is losing money because you're afraid to make zero. The whole point of business is to make money. You can't be afraid of the days you make zero. For me, when Spark is dead, I try something different. I use Spark, Uber Eats, Roadie, and occasionally I turn on DoorDash, but usually their offers are very low, at least for me, and my acceptance rate is very low. That could be the reason why. But instead of forcing a bad order, I'll try to work on multiple apps. I'll come home and work on eBay. I'll try to look for inventory. Sometimes I'll scroll through Marketplace I'm trying to get away from Marketplace because a lot of the stuff on there is not what people say, and I'm just tired of dealing with dishonest people. Uh, or other days like yesterday, I don't have anything here to list. I just went through old inventory. The point is, you try to keep your business moving forward. Don't get stuck in a rut whining about how you're making no money. Look for another income. When you work for yourself, just staying busy isn't the point. It's about making good business decisions and making money. So figure out what your minimums are. Look at other ways to build income. Work when nobody else wants to work. That makes a big difference. Sometimes the weather's not great. Sometimes it's early in the morning. It's late at night. Look for different ways to build your business, no matter what it is. Those rules apply whether you're doing gig apps or you have a Fortune 500 company. I don't. You see me sitting in my work shed. But if you made it this far in a video, I really appreciate you watching. Please give it a thumbs up. It helps other people that are doing the same thing you are to be able to see this content. And the point is, hopefully they walk away taking 1 point. That's it. You can't apply all of it. Some of it may not apply to you, but maybe somewhere down the line, somebody else can get some use out of this information. Thanks for watching.